Thank you, Martha. And thank you, everyone. Hi, good morning. Hi, familiar faces, new faces. Well, you're all familiar. I mean, we're all cousins, distant cousins. Good morning. Is the sound okay? Can you hear me all right? Great, fantastic. So, before I begin the remarks this morning, I want to ask you to appreciate or join me in appreciating. It always strikes me really when I come to IMC since COVID. What a privilege it is to come together, to be able to come together. I don't take it for granted as I was walking up here this morning. I don't take it for granted. Here we are as a community, being able to be together in physical form and practicing together. What a gift it is, the community. So, the triple jewel, really the triple jewel, the third of the triple jewels is community, not to take it for granted. So before I begin my remarks, I want to ask us to say hi to a few people around us, and as if, and I'm going to link it to the theme of my Dharma talk, which is say hi to a few people around you as if it's the first and last time you'll ever say hi to these people. First and last time. It's so impermanent, right? And the invitation is say your name, say hi, say your name. If you want to say where you came from, pronouns if you wish. And give them a goodwill message, a little bit of metta. May you be well, or may you have a good day, or may you just something, like give each person a gift, and when they give you a little gift, receive it wholeheartedly. Oh, may I have a good day? How nice is that? This person is wishing me a good day. All right, let's enjoy in each other's presence, the jewel of community. All right, go. Ah, how lovely. What did that feel like? You want to throw out a few words? Hard. Hard. Thank you. It felt hard did you say hard at the beginning? Was it hard through? Oh, party! I heard hard. I'm like, I wanted to acknowledge everything. Party! Oh my God, that's sweet. Party. There's this joyous aspect of joy. Yeah. Beautiful. What else? Warm and fuzzy. Nice. Warm and fuzzy. Exhilarating. What else? Anything else from this side of the room? These guys had a party on this side. How about you guys? Energizing. Yeah. Warm. Alive. Did I hear that right? Alive. Yeah. I heard some. Sweet. Yeah. Lovely. Who said lovely? Thank you. Lovely. Yeah. Touching. Yeah. There was a brightness, and one person came up to me, thank you, because I wasn't participating. Nobody came to say hi, and one person did. It was so sweet. It was so sweet to receive their wish for me to have a good day, and wishing them, and they received it. I was like, oh, so sweet to connect with another human being and really wish them well. So it's really remarkable, right? This power of community, this power of connecting with people, and the power of what's called weak ties in psychology. So especially since the pandemic, as many people have moved to working remotely, working. Is the sound still okay? It kind of seems variable. It's still thumbs up. Awesome, thank you. As many people might have switched still to working remotely and working not being as connected as we were before. So there are studies showing that weak ties, or these connections, these just saying hello and greetings to the people we don't know, say at the grocery store, our neighbors, just these weak ties. Of course, the strong ties, people whom we're connected with, our friends, family, etc., the relationship we have with them, the connection and spending time is important for our well-being, but also the weak ties, just saying hello and sharing our goodwill, receiving goodwill. Some studies show that actually that's even more important for our well-being. But I take well-being as a way of thriving and really showing up as best as we're able to, fulfilling our potential as a human being, being the best we can be through these weak ties as well, not taking the weak ties for granted, not coming to IMC and just sitting and then going home, but actually connecting with a couple of other people in the community and sharing our goodwill, our metta. And not waiting, not really waiting, not waiting for any of this. So just to say, this part that we just did, and my remarks are I can't say it. They're extemporaneous. Thank you. Came through. My first language is Farsi, so sometimes the accent still gets me and all that. Extemporaneous, yes. So the title of my talk actually is Don't Delay. Don't delay. So the theme that I brought in, as if you were speaking to the people around you for the first and last time, because we really don't know how much time we have. We assume we're going to have a lot of time. This keeps moving, so I'm going to adjust it until it gets right. It's all good. Hold on. There. I think I just had to twist the top part. Oh, that's much better. Now it's standing in place. Ah, there. See? Great. I know, that's right. All he had to do is wish me well and give his goodwill, and may this stay in place. And things just happened. So it might, for some people, it might seem perhaps like a morbid recollection, but it's actually, it's not morbid at all, and it helps us align with our life, with our true values, with how we want to show up in this limited time that we each have as human beings in this life, in this very life, and it's a brief flash of lightening. So this reflection, there's a reflection that I loved when I was a beginning practitioner, and I remember hearing it in the Dharma talk, and it really stopped me in my tracks. And I wrote it on a piece of paper, and I had it, on the mirror, in the bathroom mirror. And the reflection was, and it's been alive for me for years and years, or decades actually, this reflection. And the reflection was, the days and nights, this is from a sutta, the Buddha said, reflect thus, the days and nights are relentlessly passing. How well am I spending my time? The days and nights are relentlessly passing. How well am I spending my time? I want to invite you to drop that reflection in for yourself. The days and nights are relentlessly passing. How well am I spending my time? Am I living according to my values? Am I delaying some things that I know I need to let go of or do in life, especially gratitude and forgiveness, etc.? I'll say a little more about those. How well am I spending my time? The days and nights are relentlessly passing. We're aging. No matter how old you are sitting here in this moment in this room, you are aging. I am aging. We're all aging. Conditions are shifting and changing. And how well am I spending my time? How well? In some ways, hopefully well, and maybe in some ways it could be better. Anyone getting sucked into social media? Anyone? Anyone? Right? Or anything else that you're about to do something and you actually were joking with some friends recently uh, and and one of them was saying, I pick up my phone to, look up a word or synonym or something, and then there is a notification, and I'm gone. I'm gone, and 30 minutes later, I'm like, oh, what was I doing? And another one saying, yeah, me too. I write this, I create this document, and I'm offline, and then I come to email and send it, and then there are all these other emails that I respond, and I forget to send the document, and sometimes it never gets sent. So anybody else? And then I have stories like this too. I'm about to do something, but something else comes in, and it's the end of the day, and I still haven't done that thing that I wanted to do. So anyone else? Yeah, this is us in the information age. If you're not raising your hand, I'm wondering. But this is us. So there's so many dimensions to this talk, and I probably won't get through all the various points that I want to make, which is fine. It's okay to go off script, and also I'm going to leave time at the end for questions and reflections so that this becomes more of an interactive exploration. So back to don't delay, really appreciating, bringing to the forefront of our minds that life is impermanent, it is fragile, it is an aspect of being alive, it just is. That we don't know how much time we have, we might have less time than we realize. And in fact, in the Maranasati Sutta, Anguttara Nikaya 619, the Buddha says that I will die, and I'm not exempt from dying, and it's impossible for someone with a body not to die. And one must reflect on this, that life is uncertain and death is uncertain. I never know how much time I have. And that brings a sense of spiritual urgency. That brings a sense of spiritual urgency. How am I spending my limited time? And the Buddha also said, as if a person's head were on fire, so one would act with such spiritual urgency, and one should live heedfully when the fires of birth, aging, and death burn. So this sense of urgency to have, this sense of urgency, not delaying, not like, oh yeah, I'll have time, because we don't know if we're going to have time. So with that, if we don't know how much time we have, and also to say, maybe I'll bring this in now instead of later, there's also a balance for us to strike. It's so important to strike this balance of our hair being on fire, this sense of spiritual urgency in the way we live our lives, both for the sake of ourselves, for the sake of those whose lives we connect with, our family, friends, loved ones, and all beings everywhere. To balance that sense of urgency with the sense of peace and calm and equanimity, right? Because we don't want to get so overwhelmed. What do I do? The sense of anxiety that can completely be unhelpful. And some of you might wonder, well, wait, I'm doing this meditation to become calmer and more still and Yes, absolutely. So what is that balance for us to keep in mind? So really reconciling this paradox of urgency with peace, ease, and equanimity. So how do we go about thinking about this? Well, if you don't have a sense of, if you don't cultivate a sense of peace and ease and equanimity, stillness of the mind, stillness of the heart, then there won't be the wisdom to make wise decisions about what to do or what to let go of. So that sense of peace is needed. That sense of stability in the heart and mind are needed to have access to one's values, to know how to live and how to, again, what to let go of, if they're unwholesome habits to let go of, or wholesome actions that need to be cultivated. There needs to be that access to wisdom. And what gives us access to that wisdom is cultivating stability, is cultivating peace. And peace and ease and stability don't necessarily mean slow. That's another mistake that some people make, that you have to, sometimes they go together. Sometimes you have to slow down physically in order for the mind to slow down, but not necessarily. The mind and the body and the heart can be at peace and stillness, and yet there could be speed in the actions, but there's a sense of stillness within. And there are many practices, as we were practicing together this morning, meditative practices to bring a sense of stability and connection to peace, to a sense of the peace within. One of the practices that we practice, mindfulness of the breath, for example. How many of you were practicing mindfulness of the breath this morning as we're sitting silently together? Most of you, many of you. How many were practicing mindfulness of the body? Body sense, yeah, great, this is wonderful. Who was practicing mindfulness of sounds? A few people, not too. This is really fun. Anybody practicing metta? Anyone practicing metta this morning? Oh, this is great. This is a kind of, bringing it in. Yeah, so these are the practices and many other practices. Anybody practicing mindfulness of death this morning? Yes, a couple of people. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Sweet. Again, there are many practices to bring us to our. I left many practices. I mean, for example, the Buddha teaches just there's the practice of vipassana, insight, and then there is the practice of insight or vipassana or mindfulness. We tend to call one basket of practices that we do. Then there's another basket of practices, which is concentration practices or samadhi or shamatha practices, which they go together. But say for the basket of shamatha, samadhi practices, there are 40 different objects that the Buddha teaches. So there are many, many different practices. That's what I mean. So many different practices, mindfulness being a primary practice that we do, mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of the breath, the breath is part of the body also. It's part of the Satipatthana Sutta, mindfulness of the foundations of mindfulness of mind, mindfulness of various, mindfulness of death, cultivating metta, etc. So many different practices, and the Buddha taught different practices for different people. So, and it's important to stick to one practice for a while instead of shopping. Oh wow, she said there are 40 different practices for shamatha. Like, oh my God, I'm going to go shopping and look them all up, and stick to one for a while. Stick to one for a while so that you can cultivate a sense of stability. Remember stability and peace? so that you can cultivate a sense of stability and peace. So there can be a connection to values. There can be a connection to, why am I doing this? What's my goal? What are my values? How do I want to live? How do I want to have lived this short life of mine? I want to touch into a couple of other things. One is not delaying, because I mentioned earlier, not delaying, abandoning what's unwholesome, and not delaying cultivating what is wholesome. The Buddha always talks about those two aspects. So the abandoning of what is unwholesome, what is not helpful, what gets in the way. And the primary, I would say that the primary foundation of our practice is ethical conduct. So abandoning any actions that are not ethically sound, are not aligned, are not, they do not lead to what's called the bliss of blamelessness. It's such a beautiful phrase. So the Buddha teaches that when we live according to ethical conduct, and there are 5 basic precepts in Buddhism. There are many more for the monks and nuns, but 5 basic precepts. Not killing another living being. Not stealing, or actually the Buddha sets the bar even higher. Not taking what has not been offered, which is even different, which is even higher bar, right? You see the difference? Not taking what has not been offered. Someone has to specifically offer something for us to take it, even if, I'll just leave it at that. So not killing, not stealing, not engaging in sexual misconduct in ways that hurts ourselves and hurts others. And again, that's Buddhism in the teachings is not a Puritan philosophy. It's just a way that considering what might be harmful to us and to others with the use of our sexual energy. And that might be different for different people, different conditions, but basically bringing our own wisdom to abstain from sexual harm to ourselves and others. The 4th one, abstaining from speech that is harmful, speech that is untrue, lying, for example. Again, there's research in how lying erodes our trust in ourselves and our ethical compass. Our ethical compass starts to get messed up if we lie. If we lie more and more, then it becomes slippery slope. Really interesting research showing how people were put in situations where, they just said, told a little white lie, and then they're measured in fMRI. So at first, when they told that little lie, their brains would kind of feel uncomfortable. They would show up. There would be lighting up in areas that would indicate lack of comfort, like, oh, that's awkward, that didn't feel right that I said that little lie. And then as they continued to be in situations, and they did say more and bigger lies, then the activation of brain areas that showed discomfort silenced, it went down, which is pretty wild, right? So if we continue to say untruths, to lie, our ethical compass, which is our body, is really telling us, ooh, don't do that. We shut that off. That's scary to me, right? And in other areas too, stealing, etc., other ethical transgressions, we mistune our ethical compass. Does that make sense? Is that clear enough? If it's not, give me a no. Okay, it's clear enough. That is quite profound. So, and that is, oh, and then just to go through all the five. So the fourth one, abstaining from unwise, unwholesome speech, including speech that is untrue, that's harsh, it's ill-meaning, it's not basically unwise speech. And then the fifth one, and there are many more teachings on every one of these. And the fifth one being abstaining from intoxicating the mind. Because in Buddhism, again, it's not supposed to be puritanical, but in this philosophy, clarity of mind is so important. Clarity of mind is so important that we don't want to intoxicate the mind so that it's not clear, it doesn't have that clarity. So the very first, abandoning, if there's any way that ethically we're not aligned, ethically we're undermining ourselves according to these five ethical precepts, to abandon those, to really make a decision. Do not delay, not delaying, don't delay, abandoning any of the any way that we may not be living according to ethical integrity. And then, not delaying any expressions of love, gratitude, forgiveness, the ways that we can actually, again, part of it is the interactions with others, and part of it is how we want to show up as this person who is me. Not delaying expressions of gratitude, for example. The Buddha says, this is said, gratitude, practitioners, is rare in this world. One who is grateful and thankful is rare, I say. Is that us? Is he talking about us? How grateful are we for all the blessings that we have in our lives? Do we focus on what's lacking, what's not there, what the problems are, instead of balancing it with gratitude for everything that is there? And the list is infinite. And yes, that is us, because as humans, we tend to focus on what's negative. We just tend to. That's our evolutionary gift, because the ancestors who survived and passed down their genes were the ones who were tuned into the negative stimulus. They were tuned to the woolly mammoth. They were tuned into the tigers. They were tuned into all the negative stimuli in the environment. Those are the ones who survived and passed down their genes. Those who were tuned to positive stimulus, the berries, the birds, the nice things, they didn't make it. They were eaten by the tigers. They didn't pass down their genes. So whose genes do we have? People? Cousins? We're tuned for everything that is negative. It's not our fault. It's not our fault, and yet it's good to know. When you know what you're made of, then you can do things. Then you can be aware of ways to counter it. So when the mind goes and becomes a Velcro, like connects with what is wrong. This is wrong. I'm not doing this right. They're not doing this right. Not to say we don't want to make changes in the world. Of course, there is wholesome action. Of course, but do we want to balance our heart state and mind state with a sense of balance about ourselves, about other people? So balancing with gratitude. And actually, I found, I don't know about you, but when I go through tough times, challenging times, for me, gratitude is my lifeline, is what brings me back to balance. When things are challenging, then I start to think, okay, in this moment, right here, as I'm sitting or lying or walking, in this moment, okay, what am I grateful? Like I bring it to not heady here and there, but right here, right now, what am I grateful for? And often something very simple comes up. Well, I'm grateful for this air I'm breathing. It's clean enough air, right? It's not the orange sky day in California. It's clean air. Like, oh wow, I'm grateful for this breath. And then it starts there. And then another thing comes up. Okay, I'm grateful for my feet, that I'm walking or sitting, or the sensations that, wow, I I can feel. I'm grateful for that. And then it just becomes a snowball. It becomes a wholesome snowball that then my mind becomes more balanced through gratitude. That is my lifeline. What is your lifeline? What is your lifeline? What are the ways that you practice wholesome actions, that you bring your mind into balance? Is it through gratitude? Is it through love? Giving metta to others? That's another lifeline. Receiving metta from others? I know there are people who care about me, or I care about other people. So, a lot more to say, but maybe I'm going to pause here and leave some time, for some time for questions, reflections, anything you want to share. I've covered quite a wide. All good. That's our transition. Thank you, Martha. That's our transition to reflections. So, any questions? Anything you want to share? What connects for you, or what doesn't connect for you? What brings up? But great, your hand shot up. And say your name if you like to.
Hi, my name is Paula. Thank you so much for your talk today. When you first started out with the phrase, don't delay, I had panic and anxiety until you got to the point of, let's work on our equanimity and those types of things. So I've got a lot of changes in my personal and business lives right now. And I was noticing this week, as some deadlines are coming up, that my mind, because I've been attuned to be such a doer, my mind was spinning through the days in terms of, what else can I do? What else can I do? I can do more. I can get more done.
Yeah.
And I had to remind myself that doing isn't the ultimate goal, but it's hard. And I wonder if you can talk about ways. You must recognize it, some in yourself, that you were saying we need to balance.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for bringing that in. Absolutely, especially in our lives right now in Silicon Valley, where we are physically, and hello, whoever's joining us online from different places in the world. In this time, in this zeitgeist, there is so much priority given to doing, accomplishing to-do list, and that is how we are. We are oriented. So we need to carve time to absolutely be, and cultivate that stability. I'm assuming that stability is there, which is a big assumption, or we're making time for that stability because we are here meditating together. And cultivating that sense of stability, and then not delaying, and delaying wholesome action, delaying letting go of. But that stability needs to be there. Otherwise, we're going to run around like a headless chicken, and right. And the headless chicken state is not a productive state in any way. It's not productive morally. It's not because we make decisions that maybe we regret later. We're not our best. Maybe we get a lot done, but maybe we would have been better off getting less done, but doing it more wholeheartedly and more from a balanced and loving place. So when I say don't delay, it's not. Yeah, it's also don't delay yeah, maybe expanding that in our minds or in your mind, that don't delay establishing a calm and equanimous place inside. Don't delay that. Because that's what this means too, right? Because that's what the Buddha is teaching. Otherwise, we wouldn't be sitting here this morning meditating in silence or seemingly doing nothing, right? So don't delay doing that. Don't delay making time and space for deep reflection, for stillness, for calm, for the goodness, for touching into the goodness. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. Please.
Thank you very much. You know, as I was sitting here before your Dharma talk, a lot of the same themes were sort of resonating, and so we have an elderly dog that has stopped going upstairs. So he sits downstairs, and he's kind of grouchy, and he barks for his food, and so it takes some patience to deal with our elderly dog, but everything with a body, and so I said, well, he won't be here. We don't know how long he's got. He's 10, and he's been there with us, and he's been there with our kids. And so, we're kind of going through that. And made me think about my dad, who's in human years, about the same age as my dog. And my dad barks, and I go to dinner with him, and, I sit there and, Dad, but you know what? I'm not going to have my dad forever, right? Yeah. And then I got a son who's in college, and he calls and he barks, and he's like, Dad, I got this. But he calls, and so I'm not going to be there forever, right? Yeah. So those themes kept resonating for me, and your point about compassion was really core. So just, breathe in, breathe out, and let that kind of compassion fill me with time to be there with them, because we're not going to have them forever. So, so thank you very much. It really resonated with me this morning.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for your reflections. Yeah, beautiful. And I so appreciated you sharing both this sense of compassion and care for these loved ones, brought in with a sense of gratitude. That sense of urgency brings in the sense of, they're not going to be in my life. I'm not going to have the privilege of them barking at me. One day I'm going to miss this bark. So it brings this sense of gratitude. Oh, okay. And it lights it up in a different way. So beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with all of us. Yeah.
Thank you for this talk. It's a wonderful reminder to me, and I need reminders from time to time. I find periods in my life where I feel more stagnant, if you will, or resistant to change. And maybe that's protection or something like that, because continuous change is difficult. But this is a great opportunity in our life to evolve and grow. And so, letting go of the things that are maybe in our way, and then drawing our way towards things that are helpful. It's a great reminder. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and shift and change. The only thing that is constant in life is change. The only thing. Just change all the time. Our bodies, our circumstances, our relationships, everything changes all the time. Don't delay. Don't delay. And again, the don't delay for each person might be different. Don't delay letting go of what's unwholesome or what doesn't serve any longer, what's not helpful. Don't delay cultivating a peaceful heart, equanimity. Don't delay cultivating more love for yourself, for others. Don't delay more compassion. Don't delay. What a ... Actually, that's the title of the talk. So you fill in the ... for you. What is your ... Don't delay ... Thank you. Other reflections?
I was actually thinking about, along the lines of don't delay, that how do I want to choose, how do I want to spend my last few years or months, who knows what, as I have the great gift of old age. And what came to mind was this heroic reading years ago about these elderly people in Japan around Fukushima, how they said to the young people, we're old, we've had our life, we'll go and clean up that nuclear plant. And I thought, well, I don't think I'm up for anything that heroic, but I'm inspired. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Martha. Yeah. Yeah. Gifts of service. Don't delay service. However that might look for you in your life. Don't delay service to others, because when we serve others, the more we give, the more we receive. So it's that particular story you mentioned, it sounds incredibly heroic, and yet perhaps the gift that they felt, it didn't seem like it is a sacrifice from the outside, but for them, maybe it's a big gift of, I'm giving to these future generations such a gift of life, of my flesh and body. Don't delay underestimating your own humanity.
Right. And a joyful service.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. It's not a grim duty. Yeah, it's not a grim duty. So, we have come to the end of our time together. Time flies, right? So, you have not delayed cultivating planting wholesome seeds by coming here this morning, practicing together in community, saying hi to someone else, giving them your goodwill, receiving their goodwill, and then sitting with the reflections, whatever they might have might have brought up for you. So may we not delay, ... Thank you all for your practice. May you be well, may you be happy, may all beings everywhere be free, including ourselves. Thanks, everyone. Be well.